thank you all for coming tonight. I know it's after hours, and certainly appreciate everybody being here and trying to learn a little bit of. My objective is not really to teach you about brakes, okay? My objective is to teach you about our company, what we do, what we concentrate on, the areas that we cover, and talk a little bit about some of the opportunities. As Al said, I've been out on the road for 2.5 days, and the need for our products is out there. This is probably one of the best jobber call trips I've ever been on, just with the response from your customer base, on the wholesale side especially. And so I'm going to tell you a little bit about our company, what we do, kind of our go-to-market strategy, and some of the things that we do. A little background, as Al said, I was in the brakes business for a long time. For those of you who don't know LEED brakes, as LEED brakes, most of us that work at the company were at one time at Stainless Steel Brakes, back SSBC. And Tom LEED, who owns the company, hence LEED Brakes, he was one of our biggest suppliers. He brought in boosters, masters, spindles, lots of different stuff, not only for us, but also for many of the other brake manufacturers in the U.S. So Tom has been at it since 2004, as SSBC started, unfortunately, going down the tubes. Tom saw the need to develop his own brake kits and sell them wholesale and retail. He brought in a couple people early on and started the wholesale division of LEED Brakes and the retail division. And this is where we are today. Look, SSBC did a lot of good stuff. We all learned a lot about brakes. We all learned a lot about customer relations. We all learned a lot about some really good things to do. And we all learned about a lot of dumb that we shouldn't do. And so when Bill and Dan and Tom sat down to put LEED Brakes together, they said, listen, here's all the good things that we know are right and do right for our customers. And then here's some of the stuff that we knew back then that we should address and try to correct as good as we could. So as LEED Brakes, we've been around since 2017, selling under the LEED Brakes brand name. LEED was a supplier since 2004. In 2014, they began to do the brake kits under GPS Auto. Problem with that was GPS Global Horizons is our parent company, the parent name, and they started selling it under GPS Auto. The problem was every other phone call, people were looking for GPS devices. So they decided that wasn't a good plan. So in 2017, they changed the name to LEED Brakes. And as I said, we have 7 people that started, that were in the brakes business at SSBC at one time or another. Bill Cummings, my boss, was there for 18 years. Dan DeKruger, our head engineer and the head of our R&D department, was there for 16. The guy that builds all our calipers and loads all the calipers he started at SSBC in 1993. So he's been doing it for a long time. So the point through all that is just because we're new to maybe to some of you and your customers, we've all got a lot of experience in the brakes business. And our philosophy is we're going to be not the cheapest kids on the block, but we're price-wise, for the quality that we give you, we're in the middle, right? We're below Willwood, where you don't have 6-piston aluminum calipers. We don't have the big, huge brake kits and the 14-inch rotors. Our niche in the marketplace is muscle cars. 55 Chevys through about 81 GM AFX bodies is kind of our sweet spot. That's where we fall in. Almost everything that we do is cast iron calipers, cast iron master cylinders, zinc boosters. So that's kind of the niche we fall in. We have Ford, which includes Mustang, Fairlanes, full-size Fords, the Galaxies in those cars, right? We have front and rear kits for those. We do the GM AFX bodies, which is Firebirds, Novas, Chevelles, some of those. We're getting in more of the G-body stuff now. That's our next focus after we finished a couple things that we've already got on the drawing board, because the G-body stuff is getting more popular, right? Because it's still affordable. Same thing on the C10 kits. We just launched some new C10 products. Every place we went in the last couple days, they say we get more C10s than we can handle. So we have rear kits for those, we have hydraulics for those, we're gonna have some front kits. We don't do any truck stuff late model, right? The C10 goes up to about 91. The only later model stuff we do is for some Jeeps up to 2006, but those are just rear kits, and we don't sell a lot of them. However, we're going to be launching front Jeep kits that fit conversion kits from 41 to 73 CJs. So that's going to be a big market for us, we feel. We also do Mopars, A, B, C, and E-body Mopars, both front kits, rear kits, and hydraulics. Hydraulics are a little tricky on some of those cars, but as you all know, I'm sure. And then we also do, which is a really big component, becoming a bigger component of our business, is the old full-size Broncos, for obvious reasons, right? Now they launched the new Broncos, everybody's all crazy about. Dankers was telling us that he was watching some videos on King of the Hammers. He was like, every other truck there was an old Bronco. So there was tons of them. Thing is, with the old Broncos, so we have front conversion kits for those. Typically, they have bad hubs, and you can't get new hubs. For now. In about 6 months, we're going to have new hubs. We're working with Motive Gear. Our design and engineering team is working with their guys. So we should have new hubs for those vehicles coming probably by SEMA, which will be pretty exciting. Okay. So again, we're muscle car guys. We know our niche in the marketplace, even in the trucks, right? It's C10s, K10s, old F100s, and the older Broncos. So, and then muscle cars, all the muscle cars. Keep in mind that our kits are complete, and we'll go through the website and I'll kind of show you that stuff. Complete kits, no modifications. I was talking to a guy, Andy, at Unlimited Performance in Calgary. He's like, he said, one of the things he said, yeah, when I got to grind something on there, he said, you know, I'm going to hold you to that, because I told him, I said, there's no grinding, there's no modification. You might have to rebend a hose or something, or a line just to make sure it fits right, just a little bit. But if you're grinding something with one of our kits, something is wrong. You either ordered the wrong application, or maybe somebody put the wrong bracket in, okay? But if you have to grind or modify any of the products on our kits that are for the correct application, stop, okay? And here's the thing, that if a customer calls you and they have that problem, please say, listen, rather have you call LEED Brakes directly, give them our phone number. We have tech guys, we answer the phone, we respond to emails, we respond to chats on our website. We will take care of the customer, okay? You guys all do a lot of different lines, right? You sell a lot of different stuff. You can't be experts at all of it. Maybe some of you are really good at brakes, and that's great. But all our guys do is brakes. We build these kits. The people, even the guys in the office, work sometimes in the back putting components together, putting calipers together, dry fitting the rotor, dry fitting the boosters and masters, adjusting the push rod. So all we do is brakes. That's our main focus. So if your customer has a problem, they got a spongy pedal, a hard pedal, something for some reason doesn't line up, something for some reason they think they have to do a modification, we'll take care of it. Have them call us. We answer the phone. We will call them back if they're busy, and we will get it handled. Now, it might be driven through you, replacement part or whatever, but we, for the most part, will take care of it if it's a tech issue. If it's something that they ordered wrong or that kind of stuff, that's all on you guys, right? But if it's a tech issue or they got a problem with something, I'll show you the phone numbers down here. 716-852-2139. I think it's 4 is for the tech line. If for some reason somebody's not there to answer it or they're on another line, we will call them back, usually within a couple hours. Now keep in mind, we're in the East, so if it's 4 o'clock in the afternoon here, we're at the bar already. All right? Because we got a couple single guys too. We get it. All right? So again, muscle cars, all new stuff, no modifications, no rebuilt calipers, no rebuilt boosters, no rebuilt master cylinders. I can't say that about all of our competitors, okay? The other thing that we do is, believe it or not, we have a QC department that we actually open up boxes when they come in, because we buy parts from all over the world. A lot of it comes from China, a lot of it doesn't. All our brackets are US made, all our hoses are US made. We anodize every bracket. We make sure we test every hose. But we actually test stuff. I got 6 pallets of rotors, Bendix rotors. You'd think, you know, Bendix would be pretty decent rotors. Not so much. 6 pallets of them that are junk. All right, so, but the good news is we found that out before the stuff went out to the street, because we actually QC stuff, okay? And unfortunately, it's really a pain in the ass, but we are on top of it, okay? We do, as I said, mostly cast iron. We just now launched our first foray into some aluminum calipers, but it's basically a Kelsey Hayes replacement in aluminum. We designed it. Willwood's building it for us because we don't do any aluminum right now. They're also selling it too, even though we designed it, but that's a whole different story. Okay, so our kits, we have plain rotors, we have slotted plated drilled rotors, and the slotted plated and drilling is all done stateside. We have a guy in Buffalo that does the drilling for us, and then we use a MagnaCoat for the plating. MagnaCoat is what the OEs use right now. It's a spray-on, and it's what all the OEs are using. We found that it's the best product on the market right now that's reasonably priced. It's still expensive as all get out, but it's a lot better than a lot of the stuff that's out there, so that's why we use it. And the OEs, some of the OE testing that was done on it, it really holds up. So any rotor that comes drilled, we write the program for the drilling. The reason, if you look at some of our drilled rotors, you guys don't have catalogs, but I will call up a drilled rotor here. Let's see, and I just want to point that out, right? So a drilled rotor, if you look at this rotor here, you will see that not all these patterns are symmetrical, right? So you've got different types of patterns in there. The reason they're like that is our engineering team writes a program for the drilling so that it doesn't nick the vanes, right? We know by the drawing of the rotor where the vanes are, so some of the pattern is a little different than some of the rest of the pattern because we don't nick the vanes. What happens is if you nick the vanes, it denigrates the rotor, and after a while it develops a soft spot on the rotor. So again, it's one of those little things that we do, but it's a mandate for our company. It's one of those dumb things that we fix, right? So again, we take the time. We're not gonna compete on price with CPP or Master Parts or Master Power or Right Stuff, right? We're not gonna be double. We're gonna be $200 or $300 more maybe at retail. So it's not a big step. And as I told a bunch of people today, or yesterday and the day before and today, look at, you got some of our competitors' product. Get one of our kits, open the box and put them side by side and say, which one would I put on my own car? We're gonna win that battle every single time. Just because of the care we take in our packaging, the quality of the products that we buy, the testing that we do, and some of the other things that we've learned over the years that make a difference, okay?
Question for
Question? Yes, sir.
Do you have that information about the drilling and how they're not going to be symmetrical information on the rotors for the website that customers can sniff on?
I don't know. When we get to the website, bring that up again.
Okay.
Because there's some tech stuff on there.
Okay.
That I don't know if they mention it there's a couple videos.
Okay.
We are also in process of doing a whole bunch of new videos, and we will bring that up. So we also have a lot of hydraulics. If anybody had a chance to look at our catalog, we have lots of hydraulics. Probably too many. Okay, because so what we try to do is booster master. We have zinc booster, cast iron master, 2-port with a prop valve, without a prop valve, mounted to the bottom, mounted to the side, mounted underneath, with brake lines, connecting lines from the master cylinder to the proportioning valve or the distribution block. So we have all those. Then we do the same thing in chrome. So it's a lot of hydraulics, okay? But it also means we have the proper bore master cylinder for the application. We have a lot of options on fitment for boosters. These guys are putting crazy motors in these things now, tall valve covers, bigger motors, taking up more space under a small hood. So we have 7-inch single diaphragm boosters. Try not to sell those if you can help it. Right? It's almost like manual brakes. We have 7-inch dual diaphragm booster, really good. 8-inch dual diaphragm, 9-inch single diaphragm. So in hydraulics, we have lots of different options, lots of different availability. One of the kits that we're selling a lot of is a Mustang manual transmission booster master, that you don't have to notch out the cross member, and it's level and flush. Because of the mounting brackets that we use a cantilever. Let me call it up on the website because this is kind of a cool, nobody else has this, right? So FC 0042HK. I even know the part number, holy crap, crazy. So this is manual transmission booster master for 64.5, 66 Mustang. And if you see this, the reason we can do it this way, so we put this booster in here and there we go. So right here, if you can see it on the board here, we do this hook type push rod. So that lifts that booster master just enough so it clears the cross member. Because anybody else's kit out there, you have to notch out the cross member, and sometimes the hood doesn't close. So we figured out a way, again, because we actually have an engineering department and we just don't buy crap and put it in boxes. We figured out a way to do this. And as you can see, this is complete, the connecting lines, the plate to the firewall, the connecting lines from the master cylinder to the proportioning valve, all the fittings are included. The other thing is on our website, it will give you images, at least 4 images of every single kit that we have, right? So this is one of the things that we do that's a little different than a lot of our competitors, right? And that's important in the hydraulics business. One thing you have to be careful, and I know you guys saw a lot of Mopar stuff up here. We talked to a lot of people about Mopars. It's important that they know what the car was born with. We can only go by what the specs were when the car was born, right? So if it has power brakes on it now, but it wasn't born that way, the firewall is going to be different than what it is today. So it's kind of tricky, touchy, a little bit of that stuff. However, when we talk a little bit more about the website, we will get back to that, okay? The other thing that we do an awful lot of is vacuum pumps. And this is I might have enough of these here, pass these around here. So vacuum pumps. Lots of guys are building, like I was saying, motors with crazy cams, low vacuum, all right? They have not a lot of options on putting if they want to run power brakes. In the old days, we sold a vacuum pump that was a piston-driven You probably sell them. Who's you guys have up until now? Did you have vacuum pumps?
Yeah, we had the SSBC ones.
You had the what?
The SSBC ones.
Yeah. Okay. I sold a few of those. But it's a piston driven, has to be mounted level, right? And noisy, vibrate. Our vacuum pump is super quiet. It's a rotary style motor in the canister. It comes pre-wired so that all you got to do is plug it in, wire it to a key off, ground it properly. Ground it properly is the key there, right? Not to a painted surface. Because about, I would say half the calls we get about on our vacuum pump is it rattles and it goes on and off, or it runs all the time. Well, it runs all the time because you didn't put it to a key off when you wired it to the 12-volt system, or you didn't ground it properly. And as soon as they fix the ground, then their problem goes away. About 95% of vacuum pumps we get back that are defective. Nope, because we have a testing machine. We test every one of them, right? And
They're all tested on the way out too, right?
we spot check them, yeah, but they're pretty bulletproof. But we open the boxes, make sure everything's in there, every box, put it in our own box. So you keep in mind that, like I said before, we buy components all over the world, right? And every kit is built to order. We don't buy somebody's kit that they put together over there, all right? We buy the components. Our warehouse is full of bins and brackets and lines, and it's crazy. And every kit, one at a time, all day long. First thing they do is all the stock order, or all the drop ship orders. We ship about 97% next day. And I'm not even kidding around about that, okay? It's next day. We get an order today by 4 o'clock in the afternoon. Tomorrow that order is going to get built and shipped out the door. Then after they finish all that stuff, then they start working on stock orders. Sometimes it's 3 or 4 in the afternoon before they get to that, which is okay. But so we answer the phone and we ship. I know it's two things that are foreign in our business right now, and in a lot of businesses. Look, we're not alone, right? I mean, I talk to a lot of people all over the place, in restaurants, bars, other people, peers in our business. It's tough, right? It's tough. We have a mandate from the owner of our company that we're going to have inventory. We're going to have as much inventory as possible, and we're going to try to ship every single drop ship the next day, and we're going to work on stock orders when that stuff is done, okay? And over the last couple of years, it's really, really helped our business. We've taken a lot of business from our competitors, and our name is out there. I would say, I don't know, how many calls did we make the last 2 days, Al? Like 15?
Probably 15 to 18.
Yeah, and I would say more than half of the people either know us, read about us, or have used our product. Some of them have been buying it from other distributors, not in Canada. They would rather, and they are very happy, they would rather buy it from a Canadian supplier. And they're very ecstatic that you guys have inventory. So the word is getting out there. And on the vacuum pump, so it's quiet, it's pre-wired, comes in 3 flavors. It's a black canister, a chrome canister, or what we call a naked. If they don't care if they're going to hide it, put it on the floorboard, put it in the trunk, put it on the frame rail, nobody's going to see it. That thing could be mounted upside down, backwards, forwards. It doesn't matter. It doesn't have to be flush, and it's quiet, and it works. Has a pressure switch on it, kicks up to about 23 inches of vacuum, shuts off, takes about 20 seconds. When the vacuum drops after 4 or 5 pushes on the pedal, gets down to about 12 or 13 inches, it'll kick back on and start producing vacuum again. So anytime you sell comp cams, camshaft, all you have to do is ask one question: does that car have power brakes? If the answer is yes, you need a vacuum pump. 9 times out of 10. And because it's a big problem, right? So many people now don't understand what vacuum is, what it does, how it works, why that car's not producing vacuum. And if you ask the customer how much vacuum does it produce, and they say plenty, it's not enough. Anybody know what the number is?
18, isn't it? 18 should be.
17. 17 will get you by. It should be 18 inches of vacuum with the motor warm, the car in gear at idle. Not somebody holding down the gas pedal, right, in neutral. That's not enough. We get, how much vacuum did you put a pressure gauge on it? No, it's got plenty of vacuum. That guy needs a vacuum pump every single time, right? So, and then we have some accessories, right? We have some, we have pressure gauge kit to help check the pressures at the calipers. We have push rod kits, we have fittings, proportioning valves, brackets, brake pedals, mounting brackets, all kinds of stuff, right? So, again, we are not going to be the cheapy kids on the block. Our philosophy is we design, buy components that meet our specifications, right? We have good tech support, we answer the phone, we answer emails, we'll get back to you, and we ship, right? That's kind of the top-down mandate from our owners of our company, and this is how we have taken business from our competitors. And like I said, when they lay those boxes out and they take the components out, for instance, and we'll talk a little bit about it, that's one more thing. So we don't buy ready-made kits, we manufacture and buy components made to our specifications. We build each kit to order, and we ensure that it works as advertised. So LEEDbrakes.com is our website. Our data is phenomenal. We have a 99% rating from Siemens Data Co-op for 3 years in a row, which means our year, make, model lookup, our other data, shipping dimensions, weights, box weights, UPCs, country of origin, all that stuff is all in the data that we provide. If you have a customer that's buying LEED brakes and they need our data for their websites, I'm not talking about Joe's backyard barbecue that's selling brakes out of his bedroom. I'm talking about legit customers that are builders, customers, retail stores, online. We talked a little bit about some online customers. Shoot me an email. If they request data from Siemens Data Co-op, I need to hear from you guys that they are legit and one of your customers, and then I will approve the data. About 95% of the requests I get right now are rejected because most of them come from Billy Bob's garage, right? And, or, they put their address as their house, right? I'm sorry. We're here to support our distributors and our speed shops and our builders, right? This is what we do, all right? Those guys that are selling stuff out of their house, and that's why, I have not gotten one call. We have a written map policy. I've never had to enforce it in 13 months that I've been there. I have not gotten one call, and part of it is because we are careful about who we give our data to. It's really good data, our year, make, model on our website. It's the same data that runs our website is the data now that's running the JB Power website. And it's also the same data that's loaded on the Dick's Wholesale website. That comes through AAM, so sometimes it's a little bit delayed, but not a lot I can do about that. Anyway, so when you get a chance, go on LEEDbrakes.com. There's lots of good stuff out here, okay? So that's our new aluminum caliper. As you can even see down here, it says by Willwood. Had a little problem with that because, they weren't supposed to be selling it, but when they took a look at it and how it was designed, they were like, yeah, that's really nice. We need that little 4-piston that fits in a Kelsey Hayes bolt-on spot, right? One of the big questions I've gotten in the last couple days is replacement parts. I will say this, a couple things. All the pads, all the rotors are readily available from something, which means they were an OE part, like the 4-piston calipers, the Kelsey Hayes 4-piston style caliper. Let's see, this one here, right? That's a 4-piston Kelsey Hayes caliper. It takes a D11 pad. You can get the D11 pad anywhere, any compound, from any place. I don't know if you guys stock them, stock replacement pads, but it's a D11 pad from a 67 Mustang, readily available. Rotors, same thing. In the instructions that we put in the box, that your customer opens the box, looks at the instructions and throws in the garbage, we get it, right? All the parts listing is in there and it tells you what they're from so they can find replacement parts. On the other side of that, we're muscle car guys, as we talked about, and our cars don't get driven a lot. So replacement parts are not, we don't do, 2019 F-250s that are driven every day. And they go through pads and calipers and hoses and all that stuff, and rotors. So, yeah, you can get replacement parts for our stuff very easily, but chances of that, we sell almost no pads, rotors, anything like that, because the cars just don't get driven that much, right?
But you're saying the information in the instructions has the year, make, models of.
Yep.
Does it also include the FMSI number of pads and?
Yeah, the backing plate number. Mm-hmm. Yep. So here's some of our products. So it's leadbrakes.com. So again, featured products, front disc conversions. We do them in 4 different flavors now. We do a caliper kit with just the aluminum calipers, pads, and hoses. We do what we call spindle mount kits, which is at the wheels, just rotors, pads, calipers, brackets, splash shields if they're needed. We do manual brake kits, front brake kits, which means master cylinder only. And then we do power brake kits that has booster, master, proportioning valve, depending. The other thing we do is in those kits, it will show you front disc, rear drum, front disc, rear disc. We even have master cylinders for drum on the master cylinder side. Some applications that are, we even still sell, we try not to, but we still even sell the single bowl master cylinder for the Tri-5s and for the Mustangs and for the Galaxies. The early cars pre-67 that had a single bowl master. We sell new ones. We try not to. We try to talk them out of it. But there are still the Concours restoration guys, the guys that are redoing their cars for points, that want to have that single bowl master cylinder on it. My best friend has a 55 Chevy. I can't convince him. I've been in the brakes business since 2006, and I still can't convince him to put discs on the front and this dual bowl master cylinder on it. Some people are just, but this table and his head are about equal, right? So even that, right? So we still have some of that stuff for the people who are doing that. So somebody.
Patrick, do you offer, like, throwing back the old company they had where it was a factory power car, but it did not include the power booster? Do you offer those where it's just the master and the brakes, and they still use their booster?
Yes, that you would buy a manual brake kit.
Just make sure the bore size is good.
We know the bore size. Question is the mounting holes on the booster. We try to sell them a new booster. Right?
Well, smarter for the package. You get it all new, right?
That's yes, because good point, right? So as I said before, so all these booster masters, right? You see them in here. We dry fit the booster and master before it goes out the door, right? So for two reasons. First of all, when we package it in the box and it's bolted together, not just loosely bolted together, it ships better. All boosters and all Booster Master combos come foam packed, so they don't get damaged in shipping. So it ships better. Also, we make sure that the mounting holes line up, because there's an occasional one that, you know, the bolt got bent or something like that. So we dry fit them together to make sure. We also make sure we set the push rod length to what the manufacturer spec says. So the customer, when they get it, goes to install it, they don't have to set the push rod length. We also put a tag right in the middle between the booster and master, right here. There's a little tag that says, you know, thank you for your business, whatever. Please take these two components apart, bench bleed the master cylinder before you install it, bolt up the booster, then put the bench bled master cylinder and connect and tighten all the bolts. How many do we get back that have that tag? Anybody guess? Just about everyone we get back that, oh, my booster doesn't work or my master doesn't work. Not everyone, but probably 50% that come back have the tag still on it. Can't fix stupid, right? We try, right? We try, but we can't fix it all. But look, it's part of what happens, right? It's our business and we just got to roll with it. But we usually take care of it, right? So we kind of have a philosophy or a saying in-house. You know, we get a lot of tech calls and, you know, oh, my master cylinder's bad, my master cylinder's bad. And our in-house kind of thing is, it's never the master. I'll bet we get, in all the master cylinders we send out every year, 2 or 3 come back that actually are defective, right? Maybe 5 at the most out of the, I don't know how many, it's a lot. Master cylinder, cast iron master cylinders are pretty bulletproof. And again, we don't buy the cheapest one that just is there because it's cheap. It's not what we do, right? We buy them from certain factories and we make sure and we QC them before they go out the door. So chances are, most of the time it's vacuum issue, but that's another whole thing. So anyway.
So everybody's aware, if you're not, like bench bleeding a master cylinder is like absolutely critical on a brake system before, you know, oh yeah, we'll
Gravity bleed it, power bleed it.
We'll power bleed it, yeah.
There's no shortcutting. Look at its brakes. There's no shortcutting. And here's the thing, like I said before, we give you the phone number. If your customer has a problem, right, installing something like that, we don't expect you guys to be experts. Have them call us. Or if the guy's just being an a-hole or a lady is being an a-hole, send our guys an email with the phone number, the name, preferably the kit number that they're installing, whatever, as much information as you can. Send it to our info or our tech line. They will handle it. They will call them. Maybe not in 5 minutes, but they will call them and they will walk them through bench bleeding the master cylinder if that's what they need, okay? So disc brake conversions, front, rear, again. So standard rear conversions, the calipers that we use is almost universal. We use this one caliper for almost all of our rear kits. We just adapt different bracketry. We design different brackets to fit to the different applications. A couple reasons for that. This is a full-size GM caliper, single piston with a 54 millimeter stainless piston in it. It actually works. Comes from a 78 Cadillac Eldorado. Again, readily available replacement parts, pads especially, right? We're not in the business to sell brake pads. Not like some of our competitors that are proprietary, Willwood. You know, you got to go back to them and get because they have a different shape and it's not a standard backing plate and yada, yada, yada. So we use this caliper in, I can't tell you how many different applications. Just like that front 4-piston Kelsey Hayes style, all Mopars, all Fords get that. The GM caliper is a single piston full size, not the little metric caliper that goes on the Mustang 2 spindle. Not so much. Same thing with this. There's a little Varga caliper, 42 millimeter piston, D47 backing plate. This is a bigger 54 millimeter piston that actually works. All of our rear kits come with a parking brake mechanism built in. Almost all reuse the stock brake cable, parking brake cable. There are a couple early GM applications with staggered shocks that the cable won't reach. In that case, we actually include the cable in the kit because, again, we design this stuff, we build these things, we know what's missing or what works and what doesn't work. We do have instances where the original parking brake cable is gone. We actually recommend the low car. Do you guys carry that? You carry that low car?
Carry it in Willwood.
Pardon?
Carry it in Willwood, the same kit. The low car kit that Willwood sells.
The e-brake cable kit?
The e-brake cable kit. So if you do have somebody that needs that, that's what we recommend because it's a kind of a cut to fit so that whatever the application, pretty much it'll work. Our standard kits all come with plain rotors. We also have the kits available with the standard cast iron zinc plated caliper with slotted plated drilled rotors. But if you upgrade to powder coating on any of our kits, it automatically comes with the slotted plated drilled rotors. I think it's at retail US is $225 or $250, $225 I think. So it's not really a huge bump to get powder coated calipers, slotted plated drilled rotors. I don't know if that equates, it's probably $400 here then. But what I wanted to say about our powder coated calipers, right? Remember I said Kenny, the one guy, has been with SSBC since '93. He builds all the calipers. So when we do powder coating, we take the entire caliper apart, take the pistons out, take the transfer tubes out, send on this, it's only one piece, but on the front, on the 4-piston calipers, it's 2 pieces. Send the 2 halves out to be powder coated so they get powder coated properly, they dry properly. Bring them back, put all those calipers back together, load the pads in, and pressure test them to make sure that they're not leaking. Again, one of those foreign concepts. I know a lot of our competitors don't do that stuff, right? We take the extra little step to try to make sure that what we're sending to the street is correct and it works. Okay? Kenny's been, he couldn't count for the life of him how many boosters, masters, how many sets of calipers that he put together. So then we have accessories, as I said, hydraulics, master cylinders by themselves. We have a variety of master cylinders, manual brake master cylinders, 4-wheel drum, dual bowl, right? GM style, Ford style. I don't know if we show the single bowl one here. We should, but we don't. So again, you can see that this one is a manual disc brake for a Mustang, Falcon. Some come with lines, some come with proportioning valve, depending on the application. So there's lots of different. So somebody give me a vehicle. I want to just show you how this.
72 Chanel.
What? 72?
Yeah.
Okay, we got that. Okay. So 72 Chevrolet. Chevelle. Okay. One word of caution. So I put in this 72 Chevelle. What happened? Okay. If you go backwards and you go back to the home page and you don't hit this clear button, it's not going to take that car out. So anything you get is going to be for that car, all right? Just a word of caution if you're using our website. So here we are, 72 Chevelle. Again, you can go to the side here and go front disc brake conversions, rear conversions, master cylinders, vacuum pumps. So let's go through the front conversions. Again, spindle mount kits at the wheels, manual brake. We'll go to the, now this particular kit comes complete. Here's, you can see the powder coated calipers. Here's the other thing. So these kits, for most of the AFX body stuff, nothing will bolt to the drum brake spindles that they put on those vehicles because of the way they made, I don't know, the technical stuff about it. So we're nice and we put new spindles in there so that the kit will actually bolt up to that vehicle.
Are they drop spindles or just OEM?
Either. We have both.
Yeah, some of the listings were 2-inch drop spindle.
Yes. This particular one, we go back. So here's the straight spindles. There are some, here's the drop spindles here, right? Yeah. So that's 2-inch drop spindle. So you got to kind of make sure you're looking at the right thing, right? Here's the thing though. So in the description here, right, it kind of tells you what this is: 9-inch booster, flat top. This is a chrome one, happens to be plain. But here's what I wanted to point out down here, right? So this gives you some of that spec information that I was talking about on our data. It tells you size of the rotor, booster size, what's included, all that kind of stuff. The other thing is, so somebody calls you with a part number, I need to order this kit. You can put in the kit number up here in the search thing and it'll bring up this information. And what you can do is go right here and click applications, and it will give you all the vehicles that that kit will fit. So if somebody calls with a part number, it's a quick way to check to make sure they gave you the right part number for the vehicle that they're working on. Not that a customer would ever call with the wrong part number, right?
Customer supply partner. We got that one covered.
We know that, but this shit's heavy, remember, right? So we want to only ship it once if we can. I know that, but it's a good way to check, just to make sure, because we want to try to get them. You guys might not give a crap about your customers, but we do. Right? No, so I'm just saying, I just wanted to point this out because, so there's a couple other things in here, right? So if it's, maybe it's a drop ship, something you don't have in stock, and you want to kind of get an idea of how much it's gonna weigh, you go to shipping, and it will give you approximately within a couple pounds. And then there's this little thing here that I know none of you guys will ever read, but if you hit this, there's a little thing that comes up here that says instructions, install instructions. So that customer of yours that threw away those instructions, you could quickly and easily go to our website, hit copy, and send them that link.
Charge $5.
You charge them whatever you want, I don't care. But look, what my whole point in all this is, we try to provide you and your customers with as many tools as possible to make sure that they get the right application for their vehicle. They get the correct booster, the correct master cylinder, and it's when they order that part and they're ordering this kit for their B-body Mopar, this is not the right kit, sir. Let's try this again. And you can go right to the website and look up their application. But my point is, we try to give you and our customers the ability to really find out what they're buying before they make that purchase, okay? We ship out of one location only, Buffalo, New York, especially to this part of the world. It ain't cheap. 65, 75, 85, 90 pounds, depending on what's in the kit. So we want to try to dial it in as much as we can. If you're not sure, please send an email to the tech guys, send an email to me. We'll walk you through it. We'll figure out, especially in the beginning of this. Look at, as I said, you guys got a lot of different lines that you carry, and you're probably experts in some of them. Some of you guys might be experts in brakes, probably more than me, right? I'm not a tech guy. I'm not a wrencher around, I take my car to the dealer or to my buddy that takes care of it. I don't do that. But I know a lot about this, and I know a lot about how to find the information that'll make your job easier. And our tech guys are there to help. So please, if you have a question, you're unsure, let's try to make sure we get the information into your hands, into your customers' hands, so that we have a lot of happy campers. The response that I received in the last couple days from the field, from the wholesale customers that we went to visit, was unbelievable. There's a huge opportunity to sell LEED brakes. It's not going to happen overnight. And part of the reason is a lot of the cars that they have in their shops currently, they've already purchased brakes for them. The incorrect ones, but that's a whole different story. So sometimes it takes a little while to get that rolling because it might be the next cycle of cars or the next couple project cars that they get in that they're going to give our brakes a try. Most of the places that we went to in the last couple days had a bunch of cars in them they're working on, and almost all of them had the brakes already done on them, or the boxes were sitting there, and we get it. So I don't want you to get discouraged when, if the orders don't come rolling in as expected right away. It might take a little bit of time. On the other hand, we got a couple guys that were like, yeah, I'm going to place an order and I want to stock. We had one guy today, he said he's going to stock like 5 or 6 C10 kits because he does so many of them. So if you have any problems, any issues, any questions, please, our guys are there, they'll help you. They'll walk you through it, they'll take you through it. And if you need them to call your customer and walk them through an issue, we're there to help. Questions?
Probably the most important customer question, are there going to be stickers in the box? Because you know what, most manufacturers don't include stickers anymore, and I keep staring at that wide pedal one on your laptop, and that's the thing, customers like stickers in their boxes. We were chatting about that not too long ago.
Those stickers?
Yeah, for the wide pedal. I like to advertise.
Just so you know, in every box,
Get stickers.
they get one of each.
One of each.
Yep, in every box.
Nice.
Here's the problem.
Customers honestly will-
Here's the problem with that. They're in the same package with the instructions.
Oh,
Just saying, right? I'm just saying.
No stickers in here.
Because they're in a plastic bag. And they put the stickers, or decals, however you want to call them, in with the instructions.
Stickers. Where's the instructions? Threw those away. Kit's already on the car.
Yeah, right? But yes, they are in every kit that we send out, even in the Booster Masters the hydraulics kits that we sell separately, they put them in.
Huge to get the name out there. Powder coating, do you have that like in stock, ready to ship
Most of the time.
most of the time? Okay. If not, you're like a day turnaround, a week turnaround? What I'm getting at is we place an order, we got that, are we waiting?
If it's a stock order, we'll ship it complete, right? A drop ship, if we have them, it'll go out the next day. Sometimes it's a week lag time. Our powder coating and sliding plating drilling is just, I think we just got to raise the price more because, like I said, it's only about $225 at retail. That's relatively inexpensive. So we're selling a lot more of the powder coat.
But you have zinc coating on
Zinc on everything.
everything.
Yep.
So
Yep.
we're good right out of the box.
Yes. Sir?
Ordering purposes,
Yes.
so Matt, like your main kits, how many, obviously you got total weight, being the fact that I'm the one ordering them, these guys are usually emailing me,
Right.
wanting to know for shipping purposes, how many boxes typically for a full kit? I'm assuming you're not doing one box, I'm assuming you're doing.
Definitely not. Rear kits all come in one box.
Okay,
If it's a non-power kit, if it's a spindle mount kit or at the wheels only, it's 2 boxes. If it has hydraulics, it's 3 boxes. One of the dumb things that we corrected was, way back then at the other company, we never knew what was in any box that shipped out the door. So if a box got lost or a customer didn't receive the box or the warehouse didn't ship it, we never knew. So the customer would have to get the bill of materials and go through every nut, every bolt, every washer to find out what they were missing. We do it a little differently. Every box one, rotors and hoses. If they're flex hoses, rotors and hoses. We take the hoses, wind them inside the rotors, put the rotors in a box that's just big enough for those 2 rotors, seal it up, ship it out the door. We get a lot of calls. I didn't get the hoses. Yeah, open up the rotors. That's a really common one. But box 2, always calipers, brackets, hardware, splash shields if it has them, drop spindles if it has them, all the nuts, bolts, hardware, instructions, and stickers in box 2. Box 3, every single time, hydraulics. Master with the lines, master booster with the lines, prop valve. Every time. All those guys in the back know their job depends on it. If they find out that they're not doing that, even the boss's stepson knows better. No, we really, the way the bill of materials are structured, it says box 1, this is what goes in. Box 2, this is what goes in. Box 3, this is what goes in. So it's every time. Even our data is structured that way so that we can tell you, the customers even, what's in each one of the boxes for each individual kit. We actually have some 4-box kits. We have some Mustang kits that we sell the lines, the actual hard lines from the front to the back. They're all classic tube stuff. They're just down the street from us. And they make all of our lines, all the little lines, the connecting lines and all that stuff. So we do sell some 4-box kits, not a lot.
Typically 3.
Yeah.
2 or 3 is kind of
2 if it's at the wheels, 3 if it has hydraulics. Yes, sir.
Those line kits available to bring in on stock orders, I'm assuming they're a pretty long box.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Is that a shippable, like on stock orders?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah, there's only 4 or 5 kits, I think. We actually sell a pretty lot of them.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know why, because you can.
Nobody likes making brake lines.
Well, yeah, but you can buy them right from Classic Tube a lot cheaper.
Our problem is shipping on that stuff out of the States. Like if a customer, that's why
Oh,
it's
yeah.
not a big business here, because it don't weigh nothing, but
It's huge.
dimensional.
it's 7
Yeah.
feet long at least. That's what kills them on the freight side.
Correct. Yeah, if you wanted to put some of those in, we didn't put any because they're not way up the list.
No,
But
it's an option.
if it's an option, put them on a stock order, we'll put them on a skid and ship them here. Yeah.
And also with the rear brake kits, I know Willwood has always axle offsets. I'm assuming your kits, you're addressing that where you don't need to be concerned about that.
Yes. And they just bolt in place.
Both of those. A little bit of,
Here's what I will say, that, okay, so we get a lot of this, oh, is it gonna move my wheels out? Well, yeah, it's disc brakes, and it's gonna move them 5/8 of an inch. But what you have to tell them is, look, if that car had disc brake option, this is where the wheels would have set on that car anyway. Okay, we designed most of our front kits to fit in a 14x6, 14x7 for the front kits. All the rear kits have to be 15-inch wheels because of the parking brake mechanism. Once in a while, if it's a big, wide 14 rear, but we say it right on the minimum wheel size is 15s on rear kits. We don't do any 4-lug applications, no Mustang 2 stuff. That's not, you can buy that stuff for yeah. You can buy that stuff for $299 all day long, right?
master cylinder.
Yeah. Single bowl
You
masters,
don't have
yeah.
to worry about shipping any of them up here.
No. They just go to the junkyard and get them, right?
We don't got concourses to
You're right.
show it.
Oh, man.
Parking lot doesn't quite qualify for that.
Any other questions, comments?
Are you guys gonna be growing your applications, or are you sticking just to the hot rod? I could have a front and rear kit sold for a '97 Chevy. You want rear discs in the back?
Yeah,
and one's front.
we're not. We're a long ways from there. 90, No.
Yeah.
Yeah,
that's
that's,
Willwood.
so here's what our,
Really?
Yeah.
here's kind of how our, because I'm involved in the R&D stuff and the new product development stuff, right? So we have a really good offering for the year ranges that we're in, okay? But we also look at what's happening in the marketplace. C10s are really hot.
OBSs are going crazy right now too.
The what?
The OBSs, old body style.
Yeah. So C10 stuff is really hot. Obviously Bronco stuff is really hot, so we're coming out with more stuff. In the new products thing, you guys look at that. So this these are released, these C10 rear kit conversions are released. This Jeep one is next. This fits 41 to 73 Jeep fronts. Big market, big lot of Jeeps out there. This Booster Master will be next for the C10 stuff, okay? So we look at the market, right? So, and what's trending up, right? Affordability is a big issue, right? So Fox Body Mustangs are still relatively affordable. So the rear end conversion for that will be hopefully, I would say, June, right? We gotta do some more testing on that. And we will also have, at that time, we will have a front rotor upgrade to match our rear rotor. So if they buy the rear kit and they buy a slotted plated drilled rotor, we'll be able to sell them a slotted plated drilled rotor and maybe a set of pads. It already came with disc brakes, but they'll have to be able to buy the matching, right? The other thing that's really starting to, already, and is growing is G-Body, GM stuff, right? Grand Nationals, the Monte Carlos, that kind of stuff. And again, still relatively affordable, and a lot of them that were built, right? Because it takes us probably a year to develop an application from, yep, this is what we should do, we gotta do the drawings, we gotta, part of it is availability of parts, right? Quality parts from our, and then, do all the test fitting, get the axles in, or get the vehicle in, do all that stuff. So when we look at it, and part of what we have to look at is how many are out there? How many are being worked on? What's the trend, right? By the time we get to the mid-90s trucks, it's gonna be a few years, I would think. It's not
High on the priority.
it's not, well, there's a couple things that we think are, sales potential are a lot bigger than that, right? That's kind of what we gotta look at. We're a relatively small company. We do a lot of things good and right. We just need like 20 more people, right? And now that we've got Dick's on board, it'll help us grow our sales so we make a lot more money so we can afford to hire a couple at a time.
Sure.
Right? Right?
That's right.
Right?
So sell lots of
It's all
brakes
about
and in
getting
2
you
years,
guys big.
3 years,
It's
maybe
exactly.
Because that's the 88 to 98,
Yeah,
that whole
you guys
generation.
go up to 91, but it's weird, when you pull up 91, it gives you C10, and it stops at like 87.
Yeah. and
When
we
you
know
look up
that,
91
right?
on your guide,
Yeah.
it gives you up to 87 C10 application.
And that's because of the carryover models that were RV models in Blazers.
Yeah,
and
because
everything, and
it's
three-quarter
not
tons,
listed
like
C series
91.
or K
Right.
series, it's R's and G's, so.
Yeah. Yeah, there's no easy solution to it, and like I said,
will take care of it.
we're still relatively small, we are expanding all the time, but we're expanding with a focus on, we don't wanna get too far out of our niche of what we do, because we still got a bunch of stuff to fill in. Back in our previous life, we did a lot of truck stuff, SSPC.
We'll leave that be at that.
We'll leave it be. If they would've just left us be,
Yeah.
none of us would have ever left there, and they would've made so much money, they wouldn't have been able to spend it all, but that's not our problem.
Hindsight's 20/20 for them, right?
Yeah, yeah.
For us here, Pat,
Listen,
thanks.
I thank you for your time.
Thanks
your
for coming.
attention. And, look, don't be afraid to pick up the phone and call us, and if a customer's having an issue, we'll walk you through it, or walk them through it, more importantly, and get it handled. Thanks.
Thank you for
Appreciate it.
supper.
Thank you.
Bye.